All right. I'll talk a little bit today. We'll start to talk a little bit today about halakha and Kabbalah. Today, everybody is a mekubal. Everybody is mekubal. I think people want to be mekubalim because they want to have shortcuts, not because they're really interested in what Kabbalah has to offer. And it's, it leads us to very dangerous areas. Sometimes it's, done the wrong way will lead you to kfirah, heresy, complete. So let's start. The 13 ikarim, the 13 principle that the Rambam had given us, something that is very good to look into all the time. However, on the sixth one, according to the Rambam, is to believe in the prophecy of the prophets, that all what the prophets have said is truth. Still, we need to ask ourselves, for example, last week's parasha, Parashat Emor, how is it possible that there is such a contradiction between what Yecheskel said to what the Torah says regarding the same mitzvah? But that's a different case altogether. We won't get into it now. The Rambam in Malachot Yesodei Torah writes the following, and he explains a little bit more in that. He says the Yesod Hadat, that one of the foundations of Jewish belief is leida, to know sheha'el menabeh bnei adam, that Hakodesh Baruch Hu gives the prophecy to people. People cannot generate prophecy. It only comes because Hakodesh Baruch Hu gave it to you. And in the time of the prophets, there were schools of prophecies, or prophets, where they used to practice different techniques and cleanse themselves and work on themselves and so on and so forth, just so they will be worthy of that. But ultimately, if God wants to give it to you, and if He doesn't, He will give it to you, even without preparation. But yet it will work. But prophecy comes from above, comes from Hakadosh Baruch Hu. It's not something that you as a human being could generate to yourself. There's no such thing. And if somebody tells you he's a prophet, he's a liar. He's not a prophet. Later on, the Rambam writes that after that, the long path on which the prophet has to do, the long time that he has to do in order to be received in Nevuah, then he says, Ruach Hakodesh shora alav. Now that's a little bit of an enigma. After he prepares himself, Ruach Hakodesh, which is, let's call it divine presence or divine, enlightenment, is cast upon him. And it says that Avraham Avinu learned the whole entire Torah kula beruach hakodesh. Avraham Avinu learned everything beruach hakodesh. He searched, cleansed himself in such a way that, and it makes sense that enlightenment came to him when he understood everything without needing to be explained. Okay, that's why I'm feeling more comfortable saying enlightenment with Ruach Hakodesh, even though there are very enlightened people out there, but they're more like a money collectors than actual, like all those gurus over there. It's all a scam. I've never seen a poor guru. All gurus are very rich. They dress up fine and fancy. They drive expensive cars, and they tell everybody how to be spiritual, when they're themselves like the peak of materialism. It's ridiculous. So anyway. So it says also that the books of David and Shlomo, Tehillim, Kohelet, and so on and so forth were also written by Ruach HaKodesh. So therefore we need to try to see what's prophecy and what's Ruach HaKodesh and what's the difference between them. And so if we understand that, then we can get into Kabbalah and Halakha and so on and so forth. So we need to find out, first of all, if there is in our time something that is so-called Ruach HaKodesh. What's Ruach HaKodesh? There is such thing. And it seems like there is a contradicting sources about that. For example, in Masechet Sotah, it says, Tanu Rabbanan, Mishemetu Chagai Zechariah Malachi, which were the last prophets, right? Nistalka Ruach HaKodesh Misrael, that divine enlightenment, spirit, or whatever, that was removed from Am Yisrael. However, in Masechet Eruvin, it says, the Shem Rabban Gamliel, Shekiven Beruach HaKodesh. So whatever his words were, he was mechavem beruach hakodesh. It's a contradiction. The malachim, the less the nevi'im, Chagai and so on, were way before Rabban Gamliel. So if ruach hakodesh nistalka, how come Rabban Gamliel had it? And we also, of course, we know what is the Mishnah in Masechet Sotah, which the whole Mesilat Yesharim is based on, Divrei Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair, that Zrizut Meviah Lenikayon, being quick, being agile, being this, being careful, blah, 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 the whole entire thing brings you to an enlightenment, Ruach HaKodesh. You understand everything in a very holy way. In other words, you don't look at things, when you are truly enlightened, you don't look at things the way, you see things with your own eyes, but the whole perspective, the whole understanding is completely different than what you have when you're just a regular person. Everything is being revealed to you in a much deeper meaning. It's when we look at the world, when we look at the interaction of ourselves and things in the world, or things the way it happens in the world, it's fine. It's not even shallow. It really isn't shallow. It's really only that we are scratching the surface. We didn't penetrate in. Only when you started to get a little bit more deep, and if you ever gotten a little deeper in that understanding, and that's, by the way, one thing that a person should, when he starts learning Kabbalah, one of the criteria, as brought in Masechet Chagiga, is that a person has to be able to be mavin davar mitoch davar. He needs to be able to learn things from the other thing. Not everything has to be told to him. He can understand things from by himself. We tell him little things, and then he runs with it because he has the ability. And until you develop those abilities, you cannot learn Kabbalah because you won't understand that. And that's the danger today, that you have Kabbalah printed in any language in the world, and people are promoting Kabbalah, it's nonsense. Nonsense. If you haven't developed those skills yet to be able to understand without being everything explained to you, to be able to develop those necessary skills and tools, learn skills and tools, you can never learn Kabbalah. Yes, Kabbalah is something you should strive to learn because that's another part of the Torah. You cannot say, that part of the Torah is not interesting to me. You can't say that. That's what the Rambam writes, Maaseh Merkava, Maaseh Bereshit, and so on and so forth. That's also part of the Torah. But, we need to get there. Slowly, we'll get there. Today, everybody, I want to learn Kabbalah right away. Hello, Rabbi, yeah, what's your name? My name is, I want to learn Kabbalah. All right, sit down, let's learn Kabbalah, Kabbalah is a receipt also in Israel. I want Kabbalot, I'll give you Kabbalot, whatever you want. Kabbalot gam kele shchita, you get Kabbalah. There's a Kabbalah. But what do you need it for? I'll tell you, it's like it's so dangerous to learn it because you can really come to mamash kfira. So, and that's, of course, this is the if you take the Sefer Mesilat Yesharim and you learn it appropriately, you come to understand it's not a musar book, rather it's a book it's a guidebook or handbook to reach Jewish enlightenment. People look at it as like something to fix my midot, which is good, fine. That's on the lowest level of interacting with this wonderful Sefer, which is very, very interesting because the Ramchal, being such a mystic that he is, wrote this book completely in a Rambanic type of a way, mamash like the Rambam would write, which the Rambam is very analytical, not mystical. So to come up with something like that is really amazing. It really is amazing, and it deals with chovat adam be'olamo, like the man's job in his world. That's why you should concentrate it, and you take the necessary step to reach enlightenment, Ruach HaKodesh. So basically, the Mesilat Yesharim is no more than a Jewish guidebook for reaching enlightenment. And it's only through action. You're not going to sit there and then walk away. There are stories like this in Israel. And in Israel, it's very big. This guy was, I don't know what, a farmer, and all of a sudden, became a Baba, became a Mekubal. And now people lined up there, like, whoo-hoo, This guy got up in the morning. I said, nothing better to do. It's like this. It shows you a certain. It's very interesting. It's fascinating as a topic to learn, but for anthropologists, not for what it does to the Jews and the Jewish faith itself. This whole belief in those people with superpowers and so on. So it's almost like, you tell me what is your favorite movie, and I'll tell you really who you are. kind of a thing. So look what happened to us. It became a thing that every politician goes to a baba to get a thing, and it doesn't make a difference. The guy was like a bouncer in a hotel, but right now he's a big mekubal. Or before that he was I don't know what, and now he gives kmeot and amulets, and he's not never learned a page of Gemara in his life. But that's okay. It makes good money. So, and you see from here that it's mamash comes the kfira, heresy. I mean, it's terrible. And it's a question like what is happening with our people. But we need to understand all these things. So, there is a sefer. I mean, of course, that after the stage, after Ruach Hakodesh, that the Rabbi Pinchas Ben Yair says, that brings Tchiyat HaMetim, that resurrection of the dead. Now, could be resurrection of the dead in terms of we are considered like dead bodies. I mean, what do we do? Only when you have Ruach HaKodesh you can start to be alive as a human, or live at the level that the human should be. So that is my explanation to Tchiyat HaMetim. Resurrection of the dead, you cannot bring resurrection of the dead. Only God can. No human can cause resurrection of the dead. I don't care if you Lionel Messi or you are Jesus or you are I don't know what Rebbe. No, you cannot do Tchiyat HaMetim. God is the only one. Ne'eman ata le'achayot metim. The one who only makes Tchiyat HaMetim is God, nobody else. I don't care who you are. So Tchiyat HaMetim is when, in other words, are we considered to be alive when we live in such a lower interaction as humans? Because all our effort is geared to survival. We need to eat and we need to make kids, and that's it. It's all about survival. So when we all gear towards survival, we're never able to live as humans. We live on the level of an animal. So maybe that's the Tchiyat HaMetim that he brings. So there was a very interesting sefer, which is it's called Shut Mishamayim. And in the introduction to the sefer, it's very, very interesting sefer, all kind of questions that and we're not posek from this sefer. This rabbi asked, and they came to him bechalom, and he answered. So the introduction to the sefer, Rabbi Margaliot, he wrote many books about Kabbalah, about different concepts. He has a whole entire book, Malachei Elyon, naming all the Malach. Very fascinating person, all of it. In Israel, they call it Reuven Margaliot. I guess the Ashkenazim call it Reuven Margolis, but it's really Margaliot. So in the introduction to that, he brought the Divrei Chazal, the Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, Tzafu beruach HaKodesh. They were able to contemplate using what is so-called Ruach HaKodesh. And to bring other sources that bring us to this, that they had Ruach HaKodesh also in this time, as the Ravad in his commentary to Halachot Lulav. He says, "Kvar ofiya Ruach HaKodesh b'midrashenu michama shanim." Ruach HaKodesh had appeared, and this is very important to understand in our Bet Midrash for a few years already. We see this there's something is going on here. Okay, so therefore we need to see if in our time there is Ruach HaKodesh, and nafkamina. There's a big nafkamina for that lehalacha. If, for example, am I allowed to take an advice from an Am Haaretz who so-called has Ruach HaKodesh on serious issues or not? So that's what we have in here. That we're going to have to continue on a different date. So we're going to deal with exactly the difference between prophecy and Ruach HaKodesh, but that's for a different date. Have a great day.